This is Pat Walker at Mission Winners. I'm doing a training coaching video for everybody. I was an IBD meetup co-leader for over 12 years and have taught extensively before that and past that on how to invest in stocks. And there's a lot of things you've got to take into consideration. You've got to take into consideration what kind of group is it in? Is it in a strong group? Does it have either great earnings and or great sales? Is it a leader in its field? Does it have a good chart pattern? Is it over the 50-day moving average line? Is it within 15 to 20% of 52-week highs? Does it have an accumulation distribution of either A or B? You get my point. I'm not trying to toss a million things out to you, but why not be stringent instead of throwing stuff on the wall and hoping it sticks? So I'm going to show you some charts here. Many of these have numbers on them, just to go through. And here's why we're doing this. It has to do with position sizing. Folks, this is very important. This is not a one-size-fits-all business. Like, no matter what, I'm always going to buy 100 shares. Or I'm always, that's my full position. Every time I'm going to buy 100 shares. No, you measure risk. There are times you should buy less than that, especially if it's a swing trade setup or a riskier base. Here's a fact, not an opinion, a fact. A clean and simple base, a leading stock in a leading group, and again, with a clean and simple base that breaks out in a good market, has greater odds of working for you than a shorter, choppy base that's difficult to see the entry and the market's bad. Combine those variables together and you'll stack the deck in your favor. I've said this for over 20 years. Just because the market's open for business doesn't mean you have to do business. I really mean that. Your computer can quickly become a video slot machine if you let it. And I'm not trying to rant and rave. I'm just trying to help you. I've been doing this since 1986. You go through some wild times. By the way, I'm keeping it clean, okay? Crazy times. So let's go through here and study some charts. I want you to think about this. You know the greatest investors in the world? You know what they did? They studied past winners. They studied losers too, to say, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I need to avoid. You should do the same thing. Why not? Folks, it's your money. Nobody's going to take better care of your funds than you. Why don't you be in charge? Why don't you be in control? So I'm going to share some quote unquote knowledge and skill sets with you. EC, nice, clean, and simple base. Was in a good group. By the way, all these stocks were in good groups when they broke out. Okay, I can document it. Nice base, lifts through on volume, earnings up. Folks, a sixth grader could see this line and go, gosh, I guess if it takes out the top of that line with good volume, we should buy some. Duh. And there you go. And it goes up from, we'll call it 12.5 up to near 20. That's a good gain. There's the upward sloping trend line. You sell some losing these lines. It's simple. It's simple. Point number one. Point number two. IIPR, keyless stock, great group. Look at the volume when it pushed through these tops. By the way, I want to clarify one thing. Do not think this is a brag fest. That's sophomoric. No. My goal is to educate you on what to look for so you know what to do. Knowledge is power. I say this a lot. To know that 2 + 2 = 4 is knowledge. To know why 2 + 2 = 4 is knowledge that is transferable to other situations. That is power for you. Nice, clean, and simple. Lifts through right here, good volume, and off to the races. Just look at the chart. The next one. Plan and a plan. Look at the volume on this. It wiggled around a little bit and then it starts to make the march, but that was great. 48% average growth for revenue growth for 2 quarters before it broke out. And then look at the nice trend. Next one. Micron Technology. Look at that right there. Look at the volume pickup. Comes up, pulls back, but stays above the rising 8-day. Nice move. 44 to the mid 60s. Or upper 50s, low 60s. Hey, that's good money in a short period of time. Train your eyes. Simple entry, volume surge. Great numbers. Earnings up 999% before it breaks out. Keyless stock right here. Abercrombie and Fitch. This was a shorter move, but we don't know how long it's going to go. But you can see it's a clean and simple base right there. And it moves up. You sell some off, you sell some losing the moving average, and you're done. No day trading. This whole move, I didn't look at 5-minute charts on any of these. Upland, buy right there. Look at the nice move. That's sweet. From 24 up to the 30, that's good money in a short period of time. And it had great earnings. Show you another one. DBX. And folks, again, pause the video and study the dang chart, okay? That's what we're after here. Look at the base. Look at the volume surge. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. They voted. Wix, right there. Clean and simple. Coop, look at that. Coop, love it. I knew a kid's last name was Cooper. We always called him Coop. How you doing, hey, Coop? Look at that. That's baseball talk. Hey, kid, what do you say, kid? Nice move right there. On volume. Clean and simple, folks. 70 to the mid-90s with no stress. Walking up the 8-period exponential moving average. Train your eyes. IIPR. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now, I'll pause and say, oh, Pat, this is easy. Do they all work? Yeah, right. No, they don't. You know, there's greater odds of me growing hair than all of them working. No, they don't. So you always limit losses too. A lot of people don't talk about that. That needs to be discussed too, okay? You always have rules to get in. A clean and simple entry will give you a clean. It's good above this line. If it starts falling below the line, but also below the 8-day, you got something wrong. And by the way, on all these, I never looked at a dang 5-minute chart. I already ever look at 10-minute charts. Just let the dang thing work. Octa right there. Sweet. Comes up, bases on the 20, and starts to make a march. Right there. Entry, low 30s. 30s up to near 60. Perfect. Now, I'm going to tell you we sold up here at the top. No, that's a lie, okay? Liars sell at the top. But are you going to make good money along the way? Yeah, but just train your eyes. Walk in the 20-day moving average. And again, the yellow line is the 8-period exponential moving average line. The blue line is the 20-day simple. And the green line is the 50-day simple. And the purple line is the 200-day. And I'm telling you, if you own stocks that are coming down to the 200-day, you're in a heap of trouble. Look at Roku. Sales were up 51% when we bought. Look at that. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. They voted. And they bought it. Comes up. Comes down to the 50. You've sold some up here. Not all of it. Comes down to the 50. Bounces. Comes down to the 50 again. Bounces. You let it work. Let it work as long as possible. Look at daily charts. Look at weekly charts too. Mitch, right there. Match group. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? Right here. Entry. Look at the volume. By the way, you always know you can pause the video to study these. Just print them out and study them. Here's a great trick. I read this in a book years ago. If you want to know a trend on a stock, print it out, put it on the wall, walk back about 8 feet, turn around and look at the chart. And then you'll see the trend. And when it's just a sloppy piece of dung, guess what? There ain't no trend. Leave it alone. Don't impose your will on the stock. Let the stock tell you what to do. And I'll pause and say this too. Please, always limit losses. In mode, right here. Buy, cross the line, volume, and it marches up. That was nice. Next one. We're about done here. Roku. This was sweet. Look at Roku. Sales were up 51% when we bought. That's nice. That's very, very nice. Just going. Look at how this thing bounced off the 50-day. Is that sweet? And by selling a little in its strength, you can weather this. By the way, this had earnings coming, so are you going to take a full position in earnings? And I'm going to say this, folks. Please never take a full position into earnings. Boeing, right here. Look at the volume. Look at the volume pickup. That's a nice move, folks. That's sweet. That's what we're after. Study it. Pause the video and study it. Print a dang thing out. Keys, right here. These were our actual cells. Look at that. Here on some volume, losing the 8 and the 20 day, losing the 20 day, and finally losing the 50 day. Just running like a business. By the way, I'll pause and share this with you. You can say, Pat, do you have all these on your front page the whole time? No, heck no. After they've moved away, I don't even have the darn thing on my front page. I don't want to look at it. I've got a limit alert set, not a stop, just a limit alert set. I'll look at it maybe once during the day. That's all. Just let it work for you. Let the stock work for you instead of your keyboard. Match group again, right there. Nice breakout. Lifts off. We're about done here. Now, let's do a compare and contrast. This is NVIDIA currently. There was a breakout right here, and it did it on volume. But notice, I just showed you 20 plus charts. How's this one? Is this a good chart? Watch this. Is that a good chart? No, it's an aggressive entry. It's a maxless stock, and it bounced off the 8 day on a good volume and a good market, and it followed through, and it was good gain. Yeah, we owned it, okay? VIPs owned this. But it's a shorter, there's a reason I put this on. This is a shorter base. It's riskier. So what do you do with it? You buy less shares. Now, I just showed you a bunch of charts of stocks that worked. Let's take it a step further. How's that look? We owned this, by the way, right back. We bought it right there on that pullback when the market was running. Look at that move. Is that nice? And again, it's not bright. Look at how the thing walked up the 8-period exponential. Look at how the darn thing walked up the 20-day. That is nice. That's what we're after. But look at it now. How's that look now? Choppy. Just pause, and I want you to contemplate this. Are you going to find this chart pattern, this setup in any book saying, well, this is what you want to look for? No, you're not. Unless it's a book called How to Lose Money in the Stock Market or How to Get Your Butt Kicked in the Stock Market. This is high-risk stuff right here, folks. Next one. Amazon. Look at this now. How's this? You going to see this chart in any book? No. Baba. How's this? We owned Baba right here in November and walked it on up the line. Lost the line, took it out. Look at what it's done since then. Jeez, man, that caused you to start drinking. Baidu? No, there's nothing here. Facebook. Man, they need to put some more posts on Facebook, don't they? That's just downright ugly. Goldman Sachs? Folks, this isn't a high probability setup. Could it bounce and lift? Sure it could. But again, is this a setup where you can put money in and let it work? No, you're chained to the computer. Google, the same thing. Google this ugly chart. This might show up. How about that? Netflix. They're hardly even renting the dang thing. Can it bounce off the 200-day? Sure, but it's sure. We owned this right here on this nice orderly pullback, and it lifted up, and it was a decent return. And we had rules to sell, thank God, because we'd have round-tripped it. NVIDIA, I showed you already. Square. There was a buy right here on Square that marched up. By the way, I'll tell you this. On all these charts, I never looked at a freaking 5-minute chart. I hardly ever look at 10-minute charts. Don't do it. Look at the daily. Look at the weekly. Look at hourly, maybe 30-minute. That's all. Tesla, we owned this right here. Look at that dang trend up the moving averages. Last share sold here. Goodbye. That was a good move. Some of this was sold for over close to 600 points. All right. See that big gap bar there on volume? Bought it down here. We owned it at 338. Yeah, we're selling some here. Okay. Why? This was an extension bar here. And look at the volume surge. It's like that. You can't continue. The slope of this is not sustainable. Okay. Twitter. Man, we're going to do a lot of tweeting to get this thing turned around. Visa. Yeah, we better buy some stuff to get this stock to turn up too, right? MasterCard, same thing, below the 200-day. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. to explain what to look for. Focus on clean and simple chart patterns. If you have to really look to see the chart pattern, it's not there. It's not there. Don't force it. Remember, cash is a position. Please don't get too worked up with all the posting. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Just need to clarify and share this. Psychology, investor psychology is really important. Find a couple of chart setups that consistently work when the market's good. Focus on those. Master those. I'm really serious. Turn off the noise. I don't even have CNBC, Fox News. I don't have any of that crud on in my office. There's too much hype in all that stuff. There's too much emotion. I have a degree in psychology, and I'll share this with you. You've got to have a clear head, because if you don't, it muddies your thought processes up. Just wanted to share that with you, all right? That's important. Anyway, I wanted to share this with you to help you. There's a lot of gunslinger talk out there, and I'm not casting stones at anybody. No, I don't do that, okay? There's a quote, never throw bricks in a glass house, or something like that. Never throw stones in a glass house. And you know what? Social media is a big glass house. It serves no purpose. So we're here for a short time, literally. If we can't be here and help other people, encourage other people, hopefully teach other people, sometimes just listen to other people, things will be better. Things will be better for all of us. Can't stress that enough. Last point, I'll say it again. Don't think, a couple of points for you. Do not think you need to do something all the time. Find a couple of chart patterns that through history have been consistently profitable. When you find them, master them. Focus on them. Key on those. Turn off the noise. Manage them. Watch the action on a daily chart. Walk on up the 8-day exponential, the 20-day, the 50-day. Let them work. Let them work as long as possible. Always limit losses. Always. If a stock is good above $20 and it lifts off, and you have a really clean entry spot, guess what? It's good above 20 and it's bad below. It's really that simple. I'll show you an example right here. MasterCard. It's a good above the line, right there, and it's bad below. Just live with that, and you will do better. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. And I'm not trying to preach here, okay? I mean, folks, I've been doing this since 1986, and you can just really get twisted too much, trying to do too much. There's a good quote, only the still pool reflects the stars. Strive for that. Strive for mastering just a couple of patterns. You know the fundamentals. Look for companies with great earnings and or great sales, and I'll quantify that. 40% earnings or higher, or average sales of 40% for 2 quarters. Focus on stocks that are within 20% of 52-week highs. Focus on stocks that are over the 50-day. Don't do low price stocks. Look for stocks over $15 a share. Look for stocks that trade at least 200,000 shares a day. Buy stocks with an accumulation distribution of either A or B, maybe C at times. Look for leaders. Focus for the leaders and buy them. And when you buy them, look for that volume surge. That's very important. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. Look for that volume surge. If you don't see it, be cautious and then let it work. And another point, please never let a good profit turn into a loss. Don't do that. That's a cardinal sin. You work too hard. Be a good steward of what you've been given. And things will be better. I promise. And by the way, have I ever had a rough time? Yeah. Anybody who says they haven't is lying or doesn't remember. So we manage it. Just manage them. And just because the store is open for business doesn't mean you have to do business. Can't stress that enough. By the way, everything I just shared with you I'm telling the truth. I wish somebody had said these things to me years ago. It would have been easier. And that's my goal. It's a good quote. Be ashamed to die until you've done something to improve the quality of life for humankind. I don't plan on kicking off, okay? I'll tell you that. But I'll share this. We can't help each other. What's the use of being here? Anyway, thank you very much. Hope you're all having a good, safe weekend. And this is for all of you. Thank you.